Good afternoon. We welcome you to this annual event of the College of Architecture at the Om Dayal Group of Institutions, Noluberia. This college was started in 2012 and it heralded a new beginning to architectural education in West Bengal, as we were the first ones to start architecture education in the private domain. And it has already been in the news for all the good reasons. Our students have excelled at several competitive design events, both at the national as well as the international level. And a good number of our students have progressed to complete higher studies at institutes in India as well as in other countries. Now, this annual event of ours, which we have named Architect of the Times, was introduced in 2015. And this is the, sixth edition of it running. We unfortunately, we missed out last year's, even after a lot of preparation. And this, such events have featured earlier, they have featured research studies, seminars, workshops, and faculty development programs. And in the last few years, we have also included exhibition of students' works in such programs. That has been one of our principal features. This year, we have teamed up with experts to prepare this webinar, and we will be having our exhibitions and cultural events also coming up. Today is the first episode of the webinar series, and there'll be 3 more to come on the 12th, 16th, and 18th of this month. This will be followed by an online exhibition and exhibition of curricular and co-curricular activities of the students. And we will inform you about it in the due course. This session today, which is titled New Age Forms, shall be chaired by Professor Joydeep Dotto, architect and academician. Joydeep requires little introduction. He's already been there for the last 30 years, practicing as a professional, and has earned quite a reputation as an academician. He graduated from IIT Kharagpur in 1992, and he had completed his PhD there also. In between, he spent a few years for his master's program at the University of Illinois in the USA. He was teaching at IIT Kharagpur for a good 10 years or so. His cumulative experiences include both academics and industry practice, principally in the western region of the country. He has been a member of University BOS and was on invitation as jury member and examiner to various reputed institutes. His corporate involvements included working for the Taj Group of Hotels and the Reliance Industries. His practice as a professional architect has included designing buildings which range from hotels to institutes to campuses and office buildings. He has also been involved in urban planning exercises for various cities. Thank you, Joydeep, for joining us. Over to you now.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kalyan Mukherjee and the management of Om Dayal College of Architecture for having me, for involving me in this wonderful journey. a group of bright, enthusiastic, and inquisitive students from 4th year of architecture, 9 of them in fact, embarked on a 3 to 4 week journey to explore and examine new age forms in architecture. The team comprises Animesh Das, Tania Roy, Odhiraj Bose, Pourabi Nath, Sandeep Kumar Singh, Shubhrojit Ghosh, Shubhrojyoti Nag, Shobhik Khara, and Devjit Guhe. The Neo Novel 9, that's what I've started calling them, the Neo Novel 9. They will now share with you a very educative and well-researched presentation on the contemporary trends of architectural forms. They will scratch the surface of architectural theory and design philosophy, the maxims of the modern, the reactions of the postmodern, the transformations and the convolutions of new age architectural forms and designs. They will attempt to classify the myriad adventures of new age forms. So they have attempted to classify the myriad adventures of new age forms into 6 interesting categories and delve into the genesis and the rationale of these design paradigms. They have curated famous contemporary projects from around the globe and tried to examine the images and the emotions that are evoked in the mind of the onlooker. I have been lucky to be a part of this fascinating journey. Honestly, as a mentor, I have done precious little, except for sharing some pertinent reading material, maybe provoking them to ask tricky questions, and pumping in some energy and confidence into the 2 speakers. We have brainstormed and debated among ourselves about the need, the applicability, and the feasibility of these new age forms. So let's give a shout out to the Neo Novel 9 and spare them about 30 to 40 minutes of your precious time, after which we'll be happy to open it up for questions if that is possible. I thank you all for joining, for showing interest in this webinar. This gives us hope and encouragement. Needless to say, the students have put together a rich and informative presentation from which I personally have learned a lot. Hopefully you will enjoy it too. So without further ado, let me call upon Tania Roy and Animesh Das to take over from here. Yes, please. Can we share screen?
Is it visible?
Yes, bingo, let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Animesh Das, and she's Tania Roy. So today we will be going to discuss. On new age forms, and with the little essence of digitization in coming forms of architecture. So before directly jumping into the new age forms, we will first discuss about the basic of what is forms, and we will also discuss about the certain style of architecture that has helped in evolving these forms. So starting from the presentation, what is form? The visual perception of everything that can be seen, feel, or touch in a day-to-day life is form. The shape of sun, the texture of concrete, the curve of an apple, everything is associated with a certain type of form. Mathematically, we define form as a combination of points, lines, and planes, where point is a dimensionless object, line is a one-dimensional object, and plane is a two-dimensional object, combining to make a form that is a three-dimensional object. But artistically, Paul Klee, who was also known for his work in Bauhaus period, he is a famous pioneer artist in Bauhaus period. He defined a line is a dot that went for a walk. So we also tried to copy the same concept and define the plane is a line that went for a walk. And henceforth, the form is when such plane dots and line go for a walk hand in hand into the park, and they turn, twist, roll, divide, and deform. Coming to the second most important fundamentals of designing, that is composition. Composition of forms is something that we deal in our day-to-day life. Composition means in Latin to compose, that is from to make whole from different parts. A square frame can be composed in fundamental pattern with the help of forms. In here, you can see how dots have transformed to a certain type of compositional form. Lines have transformed into a compositional forms as well. And how a 3D a 2D surface transforms into a compositional form that is we as an architect known as a volume or space or a void. But the question arrives, who invented form and from where this all started? Coming just a brief history of architecture. This is how the form evolved around the history of architecture, with some magnificent building justified with the form, with the religion, with the society. But basically, we will be discussing about on the modern and postmodern style of architecture, because these two elements are style are very much impactful in making new age forms and designing the new trend of form that is presently going to be very much effective. Okay, so first of all, we will start with modernism. What is modernism? The style of architecture that emerged in the early 20th century is known as modernism. There were many architects, Louis Sullivan, Mies van der Rohe, who tossed many phrases like form ever follows function, less is more. All these were meant to suggest that buildings should be designed so that the essential structure and function should dictate the form. Another very iconic architect known as Adolf Loos, in his manifesto Ornament and Crime, created a huge outrage in which he termed avoiding ornament was a sign of spiritual strength. And in the later 90s, there comes the two famous architects that we as a student admire a lot and we know them very well. That is the founder of Bauhaus movement, Walter Gropius. He in his movement derived modernism in certain part of dimensions. That is following 90 degrees, following the bandwidth of horizontal and vertical lines. Visual expression should be the structure of the building rather than any extra elements that is being added for the good purposes. The second one is the Le Corbusier, the very famous building Villa Sabo. Here you can see are the fundamentals of modernist architecture. That is white clean facades, rectangular, grade, and large windows, which describe the five fundamentals of Le Corbusier buildings that he provoked, and also the fundamentals of modernism in architecture that was very affected or very influenced by the industrial era of those times. Now there is conflict everywhere. So when this modernism came, there was a conflict in, should this be the only form? Should this be the only composition of form that should be done or that should be followed across the world? Then comes many architects who started questioning on the sterile aestheticism of post-war buildings that were directly copied from the industrial ideologies. Following the movement, there were architects like Zaha Hadid and Oscar Niemeyer. Like Zaha Hadid told there are 360 degrees, so why stick to one? Oscar Niemeyer said form follows function, but I would say that form follows beauty, or even better, form follows feminine. There were other architects as well, Dennis Libeskind, Robert Venturi, who participated very enthusiastically in this movement. And the main motto was to question the fundamentals of modernism and to choose the other domain of practicing architecture by defining form, which gave birth to a new style that we today know as postmodernism. The next topic we will be discussing is what is the present scenario? Like, what is it going to be after postmodernism? Is postmodernism the end of the architecture fraternity, or is it the deadline? So with the, I would say a small quote done by Robert Venturi. He said, modernism is about space and postmodernism is about connection. You should do that turns you on. With the change in society's pattern and way of living, a trend of digitization came in everyone's lifestyle, also in the architectural fraternity, in a complex manner anyhow, leading to new age forms of digitizing through building. Now, based on these digitized categories, we have picked out 6 digitized forms that have been given in the book named as Hybrid Space, written by Peter Zeilner. These 6 categories may not be mutually exclusive, but they show certain form of distinctive characteristic in itself. These 6 categories are provided in the screen. So I would request Tanya to move forward from this slide. Yeah, up to you, Tanya.
Okay, the next slide, please. The first category is topological architecture. Topological architecture means the dynamic variation of form facilitated by information technology, by computer-assisted design, or by animation software. Next. The word topo means place and logy means study. We can say topology means study of place. The topologification of architectonic forms according to dynamic and complex configuration links the architectural design to a new and often spectacular plasticity in the footstep of organic expressionism. Next. Topology is mainly opposed to the Euclidean geometrical representation of space. When an Euclidean wall associates itself to other flat surfaces like walls, ceiling, floors, it is simple to define an inside and an outside. Next. Beijing National Stadium, China. In the stadium, the designer didn't do any disposal to the look of the stadium. They just exposed the steel structure entirely and let them become the most natural appearance. The form of the stadium looked like a big nest which embraces and nurses human beings. Next. Guggenheim, Bilbao, Spain, by Frank Gehry. The museum multiplied its exhibition space in a mountain of stone, glass, and titanium that follows the contour of the Nervion River. And the river flows in front of the museum. The concept of this form of the museum is taken from the river. Next. EMP Museum, Seattle, by Frank Gehry. At the base of the museum, the Space Needle, Gehry framed the EMP Museum to look as its steel and aluminum skin is flapping at the wake of Seattle's famous monorail. Gehry's first model of the museum was built from sliced up guitars. Next. Our next category is isomorphic architecture. Next. The word isomorphism derives from the Greek word iso, meaning equal, and morphosis, which means to form or to shape. It's a very general concept of mathematics. Isomorphism is mainly bijective morphism, but sometimes it acts as a map that preserves sets and relation among the elements. In this figure, it shows the process that two forms or two elements are connected to each other and creates a single form. Basically, the process is called isomorphism. Next. Blobs or metaballs are the basic unit which help to form an isomorphic surface with their internal forces of mass and attraction. Those isomorphic surfaces are formed by addition of metaballs or subtraction of metaballs. The addition of metaballs are act as the cell division process like meiosis, mitosis. Next. The geometry constructed by a complete field which have some intensity is called isomorphic surface. And when two isomorphic surfaces or more than that are connected to each other, is formed isomorphic polysurface, and which means binary large object is the basic unit of this. Blobs have a center, a surface, and a mass area that is relative to other object and internal forces due to mass attraction. Two blobs are forming a polysurface step by step and acts as the mitosis process like cell division. Next. Blobitecture, also known as blobism, is a term given to postmodern architectural style characterized by curved and rounded building shapes or blob architecture. Blobitecture buildings appear to have an organic form that is soft and free-flowing, yet comes together to produce a complex whole. We can see the process on Selfridges building in England. Next. The building of BMW Pavilion or Bubble Pavilion at the International Motor Show in Frankfurt represent a new direction in architecture, and it is a very good example of isomorphic architecture. This is relatively minor construction project enables the architects to approach one step closer to the architectural vision of the new age forms. The concept of the form came through two water droplets. Here, two connected metabolic or blobby structure influence to create this form. The concept is inspired by hydrogen-based technology. It is very free form that seems a drop of water, and so it was called a bubble. Next. Graz Art Museum is famous for biomorph shape, imposing appearance, and for its peculiar blue-colored external skin. The BIX media facade, which can be used as a gigantic multimedia device. The futuristic architecture of the building has earned it the nickname Friendly Alien. Walking around the building, feeling its visual softness, glimpsing the surrounding environment, mirror the building's translucent cladding is good example of blobitecture. Next. So our next category is animate architecture. Next slide. When the design of a building allows the part of it to move without reducing overall structural integrity is called kinetic architecture. The possibilities for practical implementation of kinetic architecture increased sharply in late 20th century due to advances in mechanics, electronics, and robotics. Here, the wooden lattice of the building facade acts as a kinetic facade. It's become open, semi-open, and closed in some particular times of a day. Next. Kinematic studies without consideration given to mass or external forces. Various dynamics takes into consideration physical properties such as mass, elasticity, and physical forces such as gravity and inertia. Dynamic architectural buildings are mainly climate responsive. In this diagram, some dynamic building facades are shown. And this umbrella facade follows the opening and closing methods like an umbrella. Next. The four main typologies of building facades which influence the animate facade, those are rotation, folding, moving, and scaling. Next. Next comes to the building facade of Abu Dhabi Investment Center is good example of animate facade. The design is based on the concept of adaptive flowers and mashrabia, which is wooden lattice shading scheme. As the sun rises in the morning, the mashrabia along the side of the building will begin to close. And when the sun moves around the building, wall's vertical strip mashrabia moves with the sun. At the night, the screen folds, allowing more of the facade of the tower outside. Next. Basic modules are shown here. The whole lattice structure covered the building facade. The circular plan form was articulated to reduce solar exposure to the most heavily exposed elevations, and in so doing, generate a natural orientation. The form of the towers was then sculpted around the core, narrower at the base and at the top, but broader around the intermediate floors. Next. Milwaukee Art Museum by Santiago Calatrava. World famous architect Santiago Calatrava was one of the three designers of the museum with his distinguished pavilion. The pavilion of the art museum gained its fame due to its movable sun shield with 217 feet wingspan that folds and unfolds according to the time of the day. Next. Savvy House. The uniqueness of this 1400 square meter house lies in the movable roof, referencing old Iranian homes. Here we can see the movement of the roofs in the images respectively. Next, yes. Our next category, metamorphic architecture, which represents the concept of creating simple form and then selecting the suitable transformation modifier such as bending, torsion, lattice box, morphing, etc. to change the form. Next. Here, morph meaning form and meta meaning change, and metamorphosis mean change in form. The modifier is selected according to the concept. Metamorphic architecture are generated by deformation of modeling space. Mainly the concept is derived from metamorphic rock, which is a type of rock has been changed by extreme heat and pressure. Here morphing represents an additional deformation and transformation techniques which involve a time-based strategy. Next. Key shape animation, deformation of modeling space, and spline curve and path animation are the forms which include metamorphic generation. As an example, path curve deformation is happened after stretching, rotating, and twisting. Next. Procession and superimposition are the two methods which help for modeling a metamorphic structure. Procession time depends on static frame and formal time. Superimposition includes shearing, shifting, and rotating operations. Other techniques for metamorphic generation of form including deformation of the modeling space around an object using bounding box, a spline curve, or one of the coordinate system axes or planes. Next. Gehry Tower and ISA building designed by Frank Gehry are the good and very easy to understand example of metamorphic architecture. Those buildings are designed to the concept of twisting the path curve. Next. The next category is parametric architecture. The term parametric originates from the mathematics and refers to the use of certain parameters or variables that can be edited to manipulate or alter the end result of an equation system. Next. Architecture as multi-related field is influenced and connected by many subjects. Among those subjects, the role and art and natural science is the most dominant frame without ignoring the development of advanced technology. By using technology, the impossible becomes possible, such as the sculpture of the body motion of human as the subject of art and science. Here we can see a lady coming down the staircase and turning around at the same time. This is an organic example of parametric design. Next. In parametric design, the parameters of a particular design are defined and not its shape. By assigning different values of parameter, different objects or configuration can be created. It is defined by control parameters such as dimension, angles, relative distances, etc. Parametric equation are representation of a curve through equation as function of variable parametric statistic, a branch of statistics that assume data has come from a type of probability distribution. Next. Parametric design divided on these three basic formation. Those formation are based on seed geometry, repetition, and composite pattern. For the formation based on seed geometry, the fundamental unit of pattern known as cell and the arrangement or breakdown of the actual pattern that is born out of repeating the cell identifying these elements makes it possible to produce new patterns. For the formation based on repetition, it is a part of the geometric composition known as the symmetric repetitive pattern because it depends on the single repetitive elements regardless of the complexity of composition. In the next of formation based on composite pattern, different types of decorations are combined and the basic cell can be used to produce contrasting background. The combination of different decorative elements affected design formations. Next. Here the figure shows the developing notion of forms through computational processes. Next. Museo Sumaya, Mexico City, by Fernando Romero. The shell of the building is constructed with 28 steel-cut columns of different diameters, each with its own geometry and shape, offering the visitors a soft non-linear circulation all through the building. The Museo Sumaya is a visual example of how architecture develops into a new phase where gravity is defined, walls are curved, levels are cantilevered, circulation is therefore more free. And last but not the least, letting the natural light in the space is become a key essential of the best of the presentation of art on display. Next. Our final category is evolutionary architecture. Next. An evolutionary architecture design is designed for incremental change in architecture as a first principle. Evolutionary architectures are appealing because change has historically been difficult to anticipate and expensive to retrofit. If evolutionary change is built into the architecture, change becomes easier and cheaper, allowing changes to development practices, release practices, and overall agility. Next. Genetic algorithm is a search heuristic that is inspired by Charles Darwin's theory of natural evolution. The algorithm reflects the process of natural selection where the fittest individuals are selected for reproduction in order to produce offspring of next generation. The key concept behind the evolutionary approach to architecture is that the genetic algorithm, a class of highly parallel evolutionary adaptive search of procedures. Next. The Gherkin skyscraper in London by Norman Foster. The building commonly known as Gherkin mimics the shape and lattice structure of the Venus flower basket sponge. The lattice, exoskeleton, and shape of the sponge provide strength and stability. The hollow basket formed by the skeleton filters water for nutrients as well. The structural elements of the building are connected at different angles on each floor due to its shape. Next. Arab World Institute, a cultural institute in Paris. The adaptive facade of the structure mimics the movement of human eye. The cladding of the structure acts as an automated eye that based on the condition during the day, while the kinetic facade on the south maintains thermal exposure. This helps control the entry of light into interior spaces and maintains the thermal comfort. Now back to Animesh.
Yeah, thank you. We already know that with great forms, there comes great process of doing such modeling. Greg Lynn was one of first architects to utilize animation software not as a medium of representation but to form generation. There are some theories that we'll be discussing on how the domain of design modeling is changing in recent years. The major shift is from the Euclidean geometry of straight lines to non-Euclidean geometry of spherical and hyperbolic spaces. Fluidity is becoming the new trend now. Coming to the process of modeling, there are generally two types of modeling process. One is polygon and the second is NURBS. NURBS, which means non-uniform rational Bezier splines. The main difference between polygon and NURBS modeling is the way the mesh is calculated by the computer. For polygons model, it calculates polygon which are flat planes that comprises a 3D shape. The way that a cube is made out of 6 square is the best example of polygon modeling. NURBS calculate the mesh as splines between points, which can make curves out of a single section of geometry. It uses a complex mathematics to calculate the surface of model. This means that it is better suited for model where a high degree of accuracy is needed. To summarize the difference between NURBS and polys, it is compared roughly to the differences between vector and rasterized images in 2D. Now, NURBS modeling comes with these sort of control points that can be used to get a higher accuracy of curve in the model. Coming to the forms in India, India in modern architecture has seen some of the most exquisite forms. Some of the examples are given here, like Hall of Nations made by Raj Rewal. It is very pity that it is no more around us. Apart from the Hall of Fame, there is Parliament Library, the Indian National Science Academy, Central Library of IIT Kanpur by Achyut Kanvinde, and the most important design of Firouz Sahba, that is also termed as the Lotus Temple, is the very much important in modern India. Now that is all from the modern Indian context. Now we are all aware that these sort of forms that we have discussed earlier are very much associated with lot of maintenance, high building calculations, high building processes, and also with high amount of price associated with it. So is it the most ideal form of architecture design that we will be going to discuss? And to sum it up all, we are at the end left with some sort of questions that are going to be discussed in future time, if it allows. The first of all, is it the most ideal form of architectural design? Or do they only satisfy the inflated ego of master architect? Do these fanciful forms actually reflect the cultural aspiration of the society? Do these new buildings, new forms convey the social meaning and local context? Do these buildings form reflect the fragmented and complicated society we live in? Do these forms champion the use of cybernetics and artificial intelligence? If architecture is truly for the society, by the society, is it justified to spend the amount of time and money associated with it? Can these sort of forms ever fit in Indian context of architecture, or will it be feasible? Now, these are the questions that are to be answered. So we let the time answer the questions, and that is all from our side. Thank you to everyone for attending the webinar. Thank you so much. Back to you, Jagdeep sir.
Thank you, Tania and Animesh. I hope it was a enlightening session. We really miss normal life for sure. I wish the students who worked on this, the speakers, and I could be in person in an auditorium where we could see and sense the reaction of the audience. Presently, we cannot do it. I wonder if we have any mechanism wherein we can have or take any questions from the audience. If not, then I would like to call this session largely to an end. And these are, I don't need to add to whatever they have said. Okay, a lot of the debating that we have done among the student groups have raised some of the questions which were mentioned in the last slide by the team. It is for all of us to ponder. For people who are practicing architecture now, they have clients, they have responsibilities, both to the profession as well as to the client itself. And most importantly, I'm sure there are a lot of students who are actually listening to this. As students, you are exponents and champions of the next generation. So the profession, the design paradigm is all in your hands. You have to make very sensible decisions, not necessarily stale or bland decisions. It could be adventurous, like we have seen, but we have to take them with caution, and most importantly, have the skill and the wherewithal to be able to follow through with the design. Okay, as a teacher and a mentor, what I think, and I'm sure there are people who are more senior to me or better as architects or what have you. This is not for them, but for the young minds that are listening, what essentially I have to say is that if you make great promises, then you have to follow it through. With great power comes great responsibility. And of course, the part that we cannot forget about is the aspect of sustainability and the aspect of energy consciousness. I think it was Barack Obama who had said, and I'll try to finish with this, saying that we are probably the first generation who actually realize the importance of green and sustainable architecture. And we are the last generation who can actually do something about it before it is too late. So we'll end at that note. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Om Dayal College of Architecture.
Thank you.
Thank you, students, and for a nice session. Thank you, Professor Jyoti Dotto, for chairing it rather beautifully. And you have raised a few questions to the panel. I hope there'll be other questions which should come through. The Facebook page was open to comments and responses, but we are yet to come up with questions as such or clarifications. However, this being the first episode of the series, we will look forward to the rest of the episodes. That is for the next 3 days of this session of Architecture Times. Thanks again. Thanks for a beautiful session.
Right. Thank you, everybody, for all the listeners and the viewers who shared their time. Thank you.
So we can end the session. We can leave.